Well, hey there, friends. Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library. And Elle and I are here today to talk to you about a book that we are really just absolutely enamored with. It was, I think, one of the best written books this year so far. Yes, it absolutely is. I know, I can't believe it either. But it is so phenomenal and just I don't even have the words for how amazing this book is. And it is crosses genres. It's a few different genres. I think that no matter what type of book you like to read, there is something in this for you. It's very enjoyable, very darkly humorous. And there are a lot of things. I read this about a month or two ago. And there are a lot of things in it that are still staying with me that I still think about all the time. So it's one of those books that has a long-lasting impact as well. So what am I talking about? What book is this? Well, it is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Yellowface. Now, I don't know if you have heard of this author before. This is her first literary fiction book. She's written a brilliant fantasy trilogy called the Poppy War Trilogy, which is just excellent. And she came out last year with a book that was called Babel, which was like a historical fantasy book that was definitely one of the best fantasy books I read last year. So good. I was so eagerly anticipating this book because I know her work, I know her writing, and everything she writes is just pure gold. And I was really excited for this literary fiction. And then I read it and just couldn't believe how much it blew me away. So I said that this crosses different genres. So it is literary fiction, but it is also a little bit of a mystery slash thriller, okay? And it is satire. It is a really scathing look into the publishing industry and a lot of the practices and things that go on with that. So what is this book about? Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't heard about it. I will say, if you haven't read anything by this author before, you don't need to read any of her previous works. If you're not a fantasy person and you don't want to go into those other things, you don't have to. This book is obviously just a standalone, literary fiction story that is absolutely phenomenal. But, if you do read this and you like her writing and you would like to try some of her other books, I can attest to how amazing they all are. They're fantastic. So what is Yellowface about? So it is about two authors who are friends. I say friends, they are and they aren't. So we have Athena and we have June. Now, Athena is the bright, shining star of the publishing industry. Her and June went to college together. They were supposed to start their careers in writing together. They were supposed to both be stars. And June really hasn't gone anywhere. As she says it, nobody wants to read another book by another basic white girl. Her words. Meanwhile, Athena is, Asian American, and she writes these beautiful stories. She is beloved in the publishing industry. The fans love her. But even despite her fame and despite June's non-fame, they have still remained friends. We find out really early on in the first few, paragraphs really, that the friendship is kind of one-sided. Athena is always inviting June to come out with her and spend time with her, and it seems very genuine on her end. But June, it tortures her to be around Athena because of her success and because of how much she wants that success. So when she witnesses her die, June witnesses Athena die in this freak accident in her home, she does what any best frenemy would do, right? She steals her newly finished manuscript, takes it as her own, and edits it and sends it in and gets it published under her name. Actually, she gets it published under a different name, Juniper Song, which is a whole thing in and of itself because it sounds a little bit more quote-unquote ethnic than her regular name. Because what this book is about, that she has now stolen from Athena, is about the unsung workers, Chinese workers, laborers during World War I. So you can see how that would be a little problematic. So she takes this book, she's like, oh, well, of course I have to. It's basically, I have every right to do this. She takes this book, she edits it, changes some things, adds some things, presents it to her publisher as her own work. Now, the reason she's able to get away with this is because Athena doesn't show anybody what she's working on while it's happening. She doesn't tell her editor or anything like that. So June is able to completely get away with this at first. So it gets published to rave reviews, obviously. And then, you know, she's riding this fame wave and really thinking like she deserves this. This is everything she's ever wanted. Well, after a little while, some people start to question what is going on. Some people start to question, you know, the fact that, Juniper Song, what is going on with that name? Who is this person? And then when they find out, you know, who she is and her friendship with Athena, people start to get very, very suspicious. And June, or Juniper, actually starts to feel like she is being haunted by Athena. She starts getting these cryptic messages about how somebody knows that the book is not hers, things that only Athena would really know. And let's be honest, there is, as much as this main character tries to present herself as the hero and the victim at the same time of the story, she absolutely stole this book from Athena and goes to a lot, and I won't go into the details, but she goes and does a lot of different things that are really nefarious to like keep this all under wraps. So this book is, obviously this main character is not somebody you are rooting for, but you cannot turn away. She is so, it's like a car accident. You just can't stop looking at it, no matter how bad it gets, right? So you don't even know who you're rooting for. You're rooting for, is Athena, you know, back from the dead? Did she not really die? Is it actually her ghost? Is there something else going on? What is going on as Juniper starts to unravel and all of this is threatening to come out? So this book is razor sharp. It is just such a dark humor, just engrossed in the story. I loved every second of it. If you know anything about the publishing industry and you know how hard it can be, you know, to be in the publishing industry, particularly if you are from a minority or if you're a person of color, then you can completely understand the lengths that some people have to go to get their stories heard. And so to see this woman go and just completely erase all of that is just so infuriating. But like I said, you're not going to like this character. You're not going to root for her at all. But I'll be darned if you can turn away. You will not be able to stop watching what she's doing. And it is just so, this book is so self-aware. It knows exactly what it's doing. I just, like I said, you will not be able to stop thinking about this book. I don't want to give anything else more away. You know, what happens at the end and, you know, does she get away with it? Does she get caught? What happens? You're going to have to read it to find out. But this is not one to miss. This book, like I said, it paints a very, you know, darkly, you know, portrait of the publishing industry and things like that. And it is just who gets to tell whose stories, you know, who is a valid author, who is not a valid author, things like that. You can't miss this one. It will give you a lot to think about. It will give you a lot to talk about with other people. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that you are just as excited about this book as I have been to talk about it. If so, please feel free to come check it out from Farmington Community Library. And also, please give this video a like. And thank you so much for watching, friends. Have a wonderful rest of the week.